Yo guys, what's up? It's me Jack, and today I'm going through the patch notes which were released yesterday. I'm not going to list the whole thing, I've just picked out some of the most important parts of it, so if you can't be bothered to read through the patch notes, then if you watch this video you'll get a pretty good breakdown of all the things that are changing that are going to affect you the most when you're in game. So the patch is being released on June the 4th on PC and Xbox 360 and PS3 of course as well, and we've got some pretty big interesting changes going on, so I'm just going to go through this list here that I've made and sort of give you my opinion, my take on what's changed. So the biggest thing, I think, or one of the biggest things in the patch notes, is that the M96 dart is now fixed. So before, if you had the underslung rail and you put the dart or the mass on it, it would fire all of your weapons bullets instead of the dart bullets. So it's just like it was a massively overpowered glitch, and a lot of people started using it, but now that's been fixed, so you won't be seeing loads of people running around with that combination anymore, hopefully. I think the dart is going to be pretty good close range still, but those medium to long range kills that you were getting with the glitch, they're not going to happen anymore. Next on the list, they've reduced the suppression effect. So yeah, a lot of people were divided on this one, but I'm happy, and they've settled with a value that is in between what it used to be and what it is now. So that's cool. That means suppression is still sort of viable, but at the same time it's not ridiculous. So that's cool, and I'm really looking forward to testing that and seeing how that sort of feels now and how that affects your guns. Very good change. They've also reduced the inaccuracy added when you're in suppression. So you know, where your bullets would just go off at crazy angles when you were firing if you were suppressed, so they've now reduced that slightly as well. Colorblind support for consoles is now an option as well, so that's fantastic for anyone that wants it, and for anyone that's actually colorblind, that's going to be great. They've improved the F35 handling once again. So they did improve it last patch, but a lot of people complained about it and said, you know, the turning, it still isn't as good as the SU35. So now they've changed it again, and hopefully it's going to be really viable against the SU35 on those levels that do use it. Next on the list, the jet and the helicopter ECM jammer should now more reliably deflect missiles when it's active, so then that's a good thing. I think Level Cap showed in the video that it was actually broken and just completely random, so they've looked at that and they've fixed it. Fantastic. Next, AA missiles not doing damage to vehicles moving at very high speeds. So you probably noticed this if you're a jet pilot or you're a helicopter pilot. You were firing the AA missiles and they would just explode before impact, or they wouldn't do any damage at all. You get the hit marker but no damage. That's been fixed, which is fantastic. Something for the console players next. They've reduced the input lag for gamepads on all platforms. So obviously input lag is a massive thing when you're playing a competitive first person shooter. When you move those analog sticks, you want to see at the same time what's going on the screen, and when you can feel that there's a delay, it just feels horrible, it feels laggy. But now apparently control pads on Xbox and PS3 are much more responsive, so the console players are going to be very happy with that one. 40mm smoke now stays longer, so the smoke grenades didn't really last very long, and they weren't very useful, to be honest, because you can shoot through them anyway. You can just, if you put your aim over a smoke grenade and someone stood behind it, they'll come up. I don't know if that's still going to be the same, but now they're going to stay longer, which is fantastic. The next one on the list is for the Recon players. So you're going to be able to see more clearly where your tracers are going. After the big patch a couple of months back, they pretty much turned the sniper rifle bullets into basketballs. So it's quite hard to judge really where your shots were going. But now they've tuned that back to the way it used to be, so now your tracers are going to be quite small, so you can more accurately change the level at which your scope is at, so you can get those headshots at long range. Very happy with this one. They've tweaked the flashlight so it's less blinding at the edge of the screen. So this is up in the air. Some people say the flashlight is perfect as it is. Some people say no, it's still too bright. Me personally, I still think it's a bit too bright, so it's cool to see that they've nerfed it a little. But it would be interesting to see like a side-by-side comparison of what it is now and what it is going to be after the patch. Okay, so now we're moving on to some weapon-specific changes. The L96, which was broken in terms of where you were aiming, it didn't actually shoot the bullet there. That's been fixed, so the position is accurately represented on the screen now, so the middle of your crosshair is going to be where the bullet goes. Bit of a nerf to the SKS here. They've decreased the long range damage of it, so that means that it's going to highlight its role as a short to medium range weapon rather than all ranges, which it sort of has been since the patch. The SKS was probably one of my new favourite weapons after the patch, but they have decreased the long range damage of it, so it's not going to be as effective at long range anymore. Moving on to some of the assault class weaponry now. So the FAMAS, the AEK and the F2000, since the last big patch, I personally haven't really used those weapons at all. Before the patch, yeah, I did. They were pretty viable. But with the FAMAS, they took 5 bullets away, I think, and they added crazy recoil. Same goes for the F2000, the AEK as well. And now they've buffed those weapons by increasing the benefit of having a foregrip on those guns. So if you use a foregrip on the FAMAS, the F2000 or the AEK after this patch, you're going to get a fantastic reduced recoil, horizontal recoil sway. So hopefully those weapons are going to be coming back into the game, which is great. The next one is for the shotgun users out there. So they've reduced the impact suppression has on shotguns. I didn't normally use a shotgun, but I tried it out earlier today and yesterday, and it was painfully obvious that if you were close range to someone and you were suppressed, even if you had someone snap bang in the middle of your screen and they were very close to you, you wouldn't get a hit marker at all. Your bullets would just go off at crazy 45-degree angles. And now they have stopped that. So your close range shotgun combat isn't going to be as affected by suppression as it used to be. So in close range, the shotguns are going to be pretty brutal now. The next one is going to please some people as well, and that's the fact that they fixed it so the weapons fire mode is saved between spawns. So if you're one of those guys that likes to select burst fire on some of the weapons and you're fed up with having to switch it back when you respawn, now when you spawn in and you were using burst fire beforehand, your gun is already going to be on the burst fire mode, so you won't have to switch around when you spawn. Finally, I think the last big bullet point on the change log is that they fixed an issue where footsteps couldn't be heard behind you. So if you're one of these guys who's got a pretty good headset like the Sennheiser PC350s, 360s, you've probably noticed that it's quite hard to distinguish when people are behind you. In front of you, obviously you can see them. Left and right clarity is pretty good, but behind you it just seemed like they were non-existent. So apparently now, after the patch, you're going to be able to hear the footsteps behind you, which is great because it's going to give those people who use those expensive headsets an advantage because people aren't going to be creeping up on you anymore. So that covers the things that they've mentioned, and I've just got a couple of things that I think they may have missed. Maybe they're going to change in like another patch, I don't know. But they haven't addressed the invisible boat glitch. It's not a massive thing because I don't think many people actually do it, but there's a way that you can turn your boat invisible and clip through the map, and then you can put C4 that floats up to the ground level, and you can kill people, you can blow up tanks and vehicles, and yeah, it's pretty hard for you to actually be killed when you're doing that, so they haven't addressed that. TV missiles as well. Maybe it's going to be like one of those secret things that they implement, but TV missiles, in my opinion, they're pretty broken. DICE doesn't really seem to have acknowledged the problem either. There's a lot of times when you fire a TV missile, it will just explode on impact and it won't do any damage to the vehicle. They don't do damage to infantry either, as far as I can tell. Occasionally, if you fire the TV missile, it will explode your own helicopter and you'll get a team kill. And also, when you're firing the TV missile, sometimes it will knock the helicopter over. So if you're quite low to the ground and you fire it and you knock the helicopter over, the pilot's got very little chance of correcting it, so that's going to essentially kill you. Also, soft lambs are pretty indestructible at the moment. They need to be looked at. So yeah, that's the 4 patch notes, guys. I hope you appreciate me going through all these things for you, so give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And yeah, plenty more updates coming to the channel. I'm also going to do a side-by-side comparison video, just as I did with the last big patch, so you can see exactly how these changes are and how they used to be. So that's going to be interesting, and I will be bringing that out probably sometime, maybe even on the day that the patch is released on the 4th, so look out for that, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.